I think the word he was looking for in the script was bonus hole.
He said cavity instead.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
See, I did. That was my Christopher Walken impression of Paul's Christopher Walken, who does Byron, who's coming up in the next block's impression. I have a third generation impression of Walken, is what I'm saying.
It's a copy of a copy of a copy. It's like mine's based on Kevin Spacey's, which is based on
Oh, there you go.
Byron's, which is based
But
on
it-
yours. Yeah.
there you
It
go.
just goes around in a circle.
Chris Walken lives here in Connecticut. Maybe I should call him up and prank him. You know,
Every day is his birthday. He likes birthday cake
do you think
every
people
single
call
day.
him and ask him about the watch? This is my father's watch. It's up my ass. Oh wait, that's not good. Oh wow. Anyway,
They
Christopher
go up to him
Walken,
and they
isms
go,
aside,
do you have any more cowbell? I need more cowbell. All right, that's enough,
you ever
Chris
see the
Rock.
Fat Boy Slim video with him? Because he was a professional, like like not professional, but he was classically trained dancer at Juilliard. And I only found that out because I was like, how did they get Christopher Walken to dance? Like, teach old dog new tricks? It's like, no, old dog had tricks the whole time. See, you got to practice. You got to try. You got to be willing to try. That is not something I practice. You could tell. All right. So, T should be in the attendees section. Let's go to Byron's video. We'll bring up tonight's guest, T. Snyder. We can take a look at his new vignette. That's a French word for many pictures sewn together with video, I think. Something, he'll correct me if I'm wrong. But first, we have Russian news in another accent I can't do. So we'll go to Byron and we'll get Russian news. And then we'll come back and we'll rush over to T's.
Привет, comrades. Welcome to Real Russian News, where you get the latest in this week's news. Well, we are a little delayed because our studio caught fire. This is why we're on location. The reason our studio caught on fire is because somebody parked a Tesla Cybertruck just outside of our studio, and some dirty, random hippie lighted on fire, and boom, whole studio go down. But not a problem, because we are going to build studio back bigger and stronger than ever with fire-resistant asbestos. Some people think, oh, this is a terrible idea. This is the worstest. I think it is asbestos. Our top story. Great country of Canada Stan elected a new leader. Yes, number one banker WEF lizard person Mark Carney. He is going to take over the show. It is amazing. So many people say, I hate Trudeau. And then next week they say, I'm voting for Mark Carney. I say, this is crazy. This is like shitting your pants and changing your shirt. Okay, whatever you want to do. Anyway, I don't know why they'd vote for him. I've always voted for Vladimir Putin, whether I want to or not. He's the only one on the ballot. The craziest thing about Mark Carney is when he defeated Pierre Polyamory, the guy who liked to eat apple and love oil and want to say there's only two genders and kick baby. He lose to Mark Carney. Mark Carney say he's going to make things so good, so awesome. But a lot of people don't know, at the end of his acceptance speech, he did something crazy. In Canada, Stan, they do not know what he said at the end of his speech because they have censorship laws. But in Russia, we don't. And my Uncle Vlad showed me footage of what he say. It was crazy. Here it is.
I'm Mark Carney. Hail Satan there, bud. Gonna liquidate Canada and sell off all the assets to my banker friends. Have a good one, eh?
And at the end of his speech, it was crazy because he ripped off his mask, and guess what? He was Justin Trudeau the whole time. This is just like an episode of Scooby-Doo. Here's the footage. Hi there, surprise, bienvenue. It was me, Justin Trudeau, the whole time. Ha ha ha, I fooled you. And now I'm here for 4 more years, and I can add 42 more genders, and add 42 billion more dollars to the debt so we could give it to Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky, you're welcome. Thank you very much, Justin Trudeau. I'm going to use this money for cocaine. Yes, I'm running now. Thank you very much. Speaking of 42 more genders, Canada just loves so many genders. In fact, there are so many genders, there was a lawsuit, a person with no name who just went by who, where, what, why. They are suing government in Ontario, which is a state in Canada, Stan. They're suing them because they want more genitalia. They apparently want a penis, and a vaginal cavity. This is crazy. Pick a side, pick a team. This is like rooting for Russia and Ukraine. You got to pick a side. This is crazy. Many people are critical of this, and they say this is crazy. You do not need this surgery. You only need either a hammer or a sickle. You cannot have both. This person who wants both vagina and penis tells everyone they should go F themselves. The critics say we can't, but after your surgery, you certainly can. And on a final story, the Pope is sadly died in a mysterious skateboarding accident, which comes to question who is going to replace him, who is going to be the new Pope. Is there going to be election? Yes, there is always election. People say, you're Russian. Are you going to interfere with this election, just like you did with America? Is there going to be Vatican collusion? The answer is yes. My Uncle Vlad told me that they already have the candidate sorted. Guess who it is? Donald Trump. Here's what he had to say. I'm going to be a great pope. I could be the pope and the president. I could do it all. I'm going to pope like nobody's ever poped before, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. I don't think anybody will be a better pope than me. Maybe George Washington. He was a great pope, a tremendous pope. And I'm going to grab those altar boys right by the... Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to stop right there. Anyway, that's all we have for this week. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week when we have our studio made of environmental hazardous chemicals live in Chernobyl. Do svidaniya.
If you would like to see more, you can go to Byron Bertram on YouTube, and that was titled "The Presidential Pope," the Presidential Pope of Dope America.
Well done.
I can't even. I got to give it a thumbs up. I'm giving it the first thumbs up. Woo! Look at that. Boom. Boom. He didn't even have to tell me to like and subscribe, right? Or did he at the end? He did. Maybe that was subliminal. All right. So there's a couple things he did in there. First off, Colby, can you rewind to the part where he gave Mark Carney a Hitler mustache using Trudeau's mini head? Because I was like, is that a mustache, or he just put a little Trudeau on his lip? But people would make the connection that he's comparing him to Hitler, which I'm not sure is illegal yet in Canada, but might be. Can we get a close-up of that? Do we have the abilities on this show to do that?
I've still got the original graphic for that if you want. Because I made that graphic.
All right, well, touche. That was a good graphic right there, because that's what graphics are about. Like that's art right there, right? So then there was this subtle line where he said about this guy and he kicked a baby, and I was like, that's such subtle poisoning of the well in such a like comedic Russian kind of thing, like, you know, that they would just slip that in there. I thought that was good enough to write down, Byron. So well played. And then I think the word he was looking for in the script was bonus hole.
He said cavity instead.
Had to explain that one time. All right, so because that term is a term these days. It's like on the market, and like people are like, well, yeah. And then you have to like, I had to have it explained to me. I think it was during a show one night where someone was like, you know, I was like, what are you talking about? I guess it's a thing. It's a thing, and to each their own. Sometimes extra.
Twice a year, I teach a course called Autonomy. It's a 12-week course. It teaches leadership, entrepreneur skills, executive skills, all these types of things that I saw were taken out of our education system in order to make the schooling or indoctrination system that we've all probably went through. And it has served us well enough to be interchangeable cogs in the machine of the globalists. But if we want a homestead, if we want write our own ticket, work from home job, work from anywhere type of situation, they're not exactly handing those out at the end of college. They give you a piece of paper and they're like, good luck. So reality is dropping us off here, but the demands of reality are up here. So I created Autonomy to help people close that gap for themselves so they can level up their skills to the demands of the situations that life is putting in front of us presently. Life's demands of intellect and understanding precision and complexity are ever increasing. The schooling didn't prepare us for it. The media is not going to do anything but reinforce what schooling prepared us for. And so we're going to have to take a leadership position and take steps off the beaten path to kind of blaze our own trail in life. What makes the Grand Theft World podcast unique, invigorating, exciting, and informative? Most other podcasts out there are either doing straight up interviews or they're just covering the daily news. They're covering current events from the day they happened. And that is effective. It's useful. It's a great starting point. And then sometimes these current events change during the week past the first story. So we like to give it a little time. You have to wait till some of the dust settles on these stories in order to give them accurate coverage. And the other thing that's really missing in the media landscape is covering the articles that are coming out every day. That's great. That's necessary. But who's bringing in contextual history so that you can understand what has been going on for decades and decades to lead up to the machinations and actions that we see unfolding today? So what we do here on the podcast is we cover current events. Many of these things are censored, but we wait about a week. As a forensic historian, I focused mainly through my career on the history of globalism and collectivism and things that they call maybe the New World Order. There's a lot of facts to these sort of circumstances, groups, events, activities, working groups that they've had over time. So for Grand Theft World listeners, we not only break down the current events, most of which that are censored during the week, we provide you with contextual history, we give you the source notes, the references, we do deep dives, and this really empowers you with an understanding of context and history so that you can make more informed decisions in your life. There's also a community, a membership where you guys can actually ask questions and we can get into the show and we can share evidence. And there's a town hall weekly for Grand Theft World for those who listen to it and are interested in covering the stories that we don't get to during a 6-hour show. Listening to it an hour a day, you could easily consume the week's news, but you're going to have substance and meaning and context and understanding. And with that, you can make higher quality decisions in your life. So if you're interested in more quality in your life, go to grandtheftworld.com, click podcast at the top, and we'll see you there. Thank you.
These allegations are false.
This isn't Grand Theft Auto, folks. This isn't a video game.
What are the most surprising things that you discovered once you started pulling on that thread? Who he was connected to, what institutions he was influential over, what events he participated in?
Come on, man. What are we talking about? Come on, man. No.
You don't have to think about it, dude.
I got this quote because you said you didn't know much about Klaus Schwab. I made it my job to, as soon as this happened, I'm like, okay, this guy's their front man. Let me learn about the official history of the World Economic Forum. I got their 40-year history. I got every book that Klaus Schwab has written or ghostwritten. I went through those books. This is one of the most interesting passages.
Come on, man. Come